Welcome to another week of Brock's Hunting Cabins and More. On this week's show, we're going to join a good friend of mine, Dave Milton from the Southeastern Land Group, showing the cabin that we built. He built the elk cabin, but put it on a basement. We're also going to join Judge Cooney, a longtime outdoor rider, probably one of the best riders I've ever seen as he goes after antelope with a bow and arrow. All this action right here, right now on Brock's Hunting Cabins and More. Today I'm with Dave Milton. Dave's a good friend of mine. We've been doing stuff for a long time. He owns Southeastern Land Group, and we'll put something up where if you want to buy land like what he's got, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. But you had a reason for that. You didn't want your kids to know, did you?
No, I tell my kids I go camping here now. They're grown now, so that when they were younger, Mom and I were going camping. But this was our tent right here.
I hear you. Well, you actually, Dave built what we call the elk series on a basement and put a big porch on it. You border the Talladega National Forest?
Yeah, my wife and I, we have a little over 300 acres here. We love it. We just, our state's so beautiful. Alabama's got so many hidden gems, and we're here. You can see the Talladega Mountains kind of behind us, sort of the end of the Pinhoti Trail that comes off of Mount Cheahaw, and we really enjoy that. Talladega Creek's close by, ponds, spring water. A lot of people go to North Georgia and they miss the Alabama mountains. Our mountains aren't as big, but they're every bit as pretty.
Yep.
So.
Well, you got a good creek down here that you told me earlier that you go and fish for red eye. And
we do, and that's another thing too, is that, everybody goes again to North Georgia and Tennessee and fishes for trout, but these little red eye bass, man, with light tackle, man, son, that's fun. I mean, that's a lot of fun.
Yep. You wade the creek?
Wade the creek, okay. Yeah. I'm over the weight limit with my canoe now. I used to canoe, but I kind of bottom out in the canoe, so I get out there and wade, and it sure does feel good on a hot summer day.
Well, tell our viewers what made you decide to do one of our cabins.
Well, you and I met years ago, I think, at one of the trade shows, and I was just really impressed. I was against cabins, because I saw, being in my business, Southeastern Land Group, selling farmland, timberland, I'd seen these round log systems for years and wasn't impressed. It seemed like they were always messing up and people were having to reseal them. And then I saw your product with a tongue and groove and the little foam in between. So, that makes a lot of sense, and it's amazing how this thing is insulated, and it keeps you warm in the wintertime and cool in the summer. And it's just a tremendous product, and I was really impressed with it, and glad we met many years ago.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about, your property here, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And it's such a beautiful view.
Right.
You got your big back porch that you can sit on and just really enjoy it. But people don't realize these cabins, I mean, what do you figure, 80 something a day?
Yeah, it's probably 85 right now, something like that.
It's pretty cool in that.
It stays cool, and it's amazing. We're working on, we'll maybe talk about this later. We're working on powering this thing. We're so far from power. I've got a friend of mine, Grant, here, and we're working on kind of doing a power plant with some solar here. It's kind of been in the works for a couple of years. This is kind of a want to project, not a have to. So we're chipping away at it.
Well, I know the power company, they're not cheap running
no,
power from
it's
here to the road.
It's really cost prohibitive. So it's just kind of a big experiment. And I've got a wood burning stove in there, and I used a lot of native rock and laid all that for the hearth and everything. And it's just been a lot of fun to play around with.
Well, as far as you know, we talked a little bit about off-grid. That's something that you wanted to do, and this is definitely off-grid. And we're going to come up with a product in the near future where, folks, you can buy the cabin kit, and it comes with everything you need to be off-grid. Water catching, what composite toilet, generator, solar, everything. And you know, a lot of people buy land that you have for sale, and they're off the grid.
Well, that's true, and a lot of folks, you know, in the past, you know, sort of do-it-yourself guys have done this sort of thing, and I'm not the best do-it-yourselfer. You know, I can do a few things, but I had a guy come up here and drill a well. He had to go real deep here on this mountain to get water. We had to go 500 feet to get water. But it's, you know, it's been fun to do something different, and you know, that's really been gaining popularity throughout the country, you know, with these solar systems. And we're here in the Sun Belt, so we got plenty of sun, and we'll have some sort of backup generator too, you know, and probably propane, you know, to do a lot with propane also. And I think this is not that many square feet. It's just was it 320 upstairs and 320 downstairs, just 2 rooms. And so and we were able to gain a lot of value by coming in and putting the cabin on top of a big tall basement. Really is what we did.
And it's cheaper. I mean, you know, if you look at building 640 square foot on top versus putting a basement under it, and a lot of people, you know, after you built yours, I mean, a lot of people say, well, we'd like to have that.
Yeah.
So your cost to do a basement is nothing like building.
Well, and it's great for a bedroom too, because it's going to stay cool, it's going to stay warm, it's in the ground. It's great for this, you know, self-powered system that we're hoping to put in. Well,
tell us just a little bit about your land company. I know there's people out there watching the show that might want a piece of recreational property to put a cabin on, or do you cover a certain area? Or?
Yeah, we've been very blessed, Brock. You know, we started as Alabama Land. I've been in this sort of business since the early 90s when I graduated from college, and our company's grown into Alabama and the surrounding southern states. So we couldn't be Alabama Land Company anymore in Georgia, so we had to switch to Southeastern Land Group, I think in 2015, and we've grown to almost 50 teammates throughout the South, and just you know, got a great group of folks. And we're like any successful company, the strength of our company is our people.
Well, Dave, won't you tell our viewing audience your experience with dealing with us from the time you decided that you were going to get a cabin? Let people know that it's not a hard process.
No, it was a good process. You know, I'm in business, and I was impressed with how you did things. We had a little simple contract we signed, and then you know, we got together on the plan. And what I like about it is we had a little flexibility. It wasn't like you had to do A, B, or C. We could kind of take, what I like is they came out here with the logs, and they cut them. You know, they cut them while they were out here.
That's right.
And you had a real good crew. They came out, and this is so far out, I think they camped out here. I think they camped out here for a few nights.
Yeah.
One of them said they heard a wildcat out here, so I don't know. But anyway, they just were real diligent the way they put it together. I came and checked on them several times, very courteous. You know, you know, there was kind of a standard with how these things were done, and we added a few windows. We added another door, come off the back deck. You helped us do that, helped us put all that together, keep costs down. And it's a good product. I like value. You know, anybody it's a good value. You know, it's not cheap, but it's a good value. Just, you know, like with our company, we hope with Southeastern Land Group, we're a good value for our customers and clients. And I feel like you provide a good value with the product that you provide.
Well, thank you. Dave, won't you take us through a tour through your cabin?
Well, I'd be happy to, Brock. Well, let's step up here on the front porch, and you see all these rocks I got laying around here. This has been again, a project that's taken a whole lot longer than I thought. So we gathered a lot of local stone here and took a corner of the cabin. We're gonna go in the cabin here in a minute, but you see the 6-foot porch here that y'all provided, and really well built. I mean, I love how you guys built this front porch, and it's 6 foot standard with this. Is that right?
I mean, they can get bigger. I mean, if they want 8 foot, 10, 12, I mean, we just charge by the square footage.
Right. I had some stone here, and then some stone that I brought from my farm down in Antelope County where I live, and it's just been kind of a fun project to get it done. So let's go on inside. So anyway, you'll see in here, it's just one big room, 320 square feet, and it's kind of a multi-purpose room. My wife and I will come up, and I can only get her to stay a night without power, but we'll come up here on a cool night and stay, and you know, you see I've got the stone work done there, and I've got the wood burning stove I still got to place, and so it's an ongoing project. And then if you look over here back towards the little kitchen area, You'll see some nice custom cabinets that I had a friend of mine build that came from an old historic barn that was sort of sentimental to us, and that's the true outside look of the barn there. Most of it's hickory, and you know, I like old things. We got a hickory top, and we're working towards this. We're going to eventually have some propane heat up here, but we've also got the wood heat, and may have one of these little split units. I think that's what we're going to go to, little mini split, upstairs, downstairs with one compressor outside. So anyway, you step out here and we got a nice big, I don't even know what the square footage of this deck is, but it's a nice big deck. It's half covered, and I just love sitting here and looking at the Talladega Mountains. I mean, I'm sitting here looking into the Talladega National Forest. Our place borders the forest, and our cabin sits almost 1,100 feet, and the high point on my place, but I'm looking up to almost 2,000 feet. And we just really enjoy that. We enjoy getting out late in the evening and hiking up to the Pinhoti Trail. And
you're pretty close to that, aren't you?
It is, and I tell you, for a big guy like me, it's a workout. So, you know, it's summertime right now, and I don't do a lot of hiking in the summertime that way. I normally like to go downhill in the summertime, but we enjoy sitting here and doing that. But I tell you what, let's go downstairs here. Okay. We'll go downstairs, and we've got a covered patio. Let's go on down the stairs, and we'll come around here to the right, and we've got it covered now. Eventually, we'll have this spiral staircase going down. But we enjoy this covered patio too. We cook out down here. It's covered. It's away from the rain. It's nice and cool, and then we have a direct entrance door to what's going to be our bedroom. When you go into the bedroom, you see it's all concrete walls poured, it's concrete blocks that we backfill with concrete floor. We're gonna paint all the walls and have a little bathroom down here, the spiral staircase, and a small bedroom. So,
well, you got a nice place, and I think in the months, years to come, you're gonna really enjoy it and get everything fixed. And I look forward to working with you on a bunch of other projects, and you know, hopefully we sell some land, sell some cabins. Just go to your website.
Shoot, yeah, sounds good.
On this week's Flashback, we're going to join Judd Cooney. You know, Judd and I have been doing stuff for a long time. He was an outdoor writer. He wrote for my magazines. I've done a lot of hunting with him. He had hunting camps out, up in Ohio. But he's just a great storyteller, and he's a great hunter. He shoots a bow and arrow on this hunt, don't have any sights or anything. And he goes after antelope out west, and if you've ever seen these guys, they're pretty fast. So stay tuned for some great hunting action.
Today on Better Built's World of Outdoors, you're going to be treated to 2 hunts with pro staffer Judd Cooney, and on our second hunt, join Ryan Busbice. Judd is one of Outdoor World's old-timers who has been in this business for over 40 years, and Ryan is one of hunting's up-and-coming stars. Let's join Judd on a pit-style bow hunt for pronghorn antelope in the southern end of the stark red desert region of Wyoming.
Well, they're a pretty animal, I'll tell you. About one of the prettiest big game animals there are.
Once largely barren of wildlife, the Red Desert was void of water sources. However, over the past 50 years, cattlemen and sheep ranchers have created watering areas in the forms of tanks, dammed gullies, and artesian wells. As a result, the area is now crowded with pronghorn antelope. Water is king, and if you're a hunter, the drier the weather is, the better your odds are for success. Judd will be hunting a water hole, which is the only source of water for many miles around in the Red Desert. In his blind, the dark shade shields him from being revealed to the eyes of the always cautious, often hyper and nervous animal. Pit blinds like these have become the most effective way for bow hunters to take the keen-eyed antelope. The pronghorn here has to have water, and this is where they must go, along with the other creatures from the sage grouse to gophers. Sage grouse get their name from the wild sage that grows here, which is a key part of their diet. Sage is also a primary food of the pronghorn.
Colorado for many years. Worked on them as a biologist. Studied their licks, their strutting grounds. I've never seen this many sage grouse congregate in one area. There's got to be over 300 of them in here. The ones with the big black chests, they're all males. The other females, and there's chicks. It's just unbelievable.
Judd doesn't have to wait long before a band of pronghorn approach to satisfy their need for water. The most skittish of North American game, these pronghorn flee for no apparent reason. However, the irresistible lure of water is on Judd's side, and it's a classic waiting game.
Almost noon. We've had antelope coming in off and on all morning. These antelope, they hate water holes. They really hate water holes. They come in, they realize they're vulnerable. This particular spring is in the open, so they can get on the hill and look around and see for danger around them. And even here, they're spooky. They come in and the bird will fly up, they'll run out, they'll turn around, come back, and usually what'll happen, there'll be half a dozen of them build up or a dozen. Finally, one doe go down and start drinking, and they all go drink. And then when they leave a water hole, they'll drink for, I've seen them drink for a minute and a half straight. And then when they leave, boy, they just blow out. They want to get out of there. But this is even in areas where they're not hunted. And so they're real spooky around water holes. You just have to be patient. A big buck will come in. He'll look all around. He'll take his time. He'll give you a heart attack. He'll drive you nuts. He'll stop and he'll come and he'll run out and he'll stop and he'll come. He may run off, spend an hour out in the sagebrush, come back in, walk up, put his head down, jerk it up real quick, look all around, put it down again, jerk it up. And when he goes down to drink, he may drink for 45 seconds, minute and a half. And that's when you take the shot. You never want to shoot at an antelope looking at you with a bow and arrow or with his head up. Their reactions are so fast that they'll see that arrow coming and they'll duck it, dodge it. Tremendous reflexes, tremendous eyesight on an antelope. They've got the vision equivalent of about an 8-power pair of binoculars, and they're usually looking for danger out, but boy, they can pick a flicker of movement just real quick. But once they've got their head down drinking, they're pretty vulnerable. So you just got to be patient.
Judd is back in the pit blinds at dawn. The first arrivals are a herd of wild horses, which in the old days were a key ingredient in dog food, but now you can adopt one.
I always like to touch up the edge on a broadhead, even though it's razor sharp. If it's been in a quiver a while, a lot of times it'll bounce around and just take this fine edge off up here. I use one of these DMT diamond hones, and they just put a real fine edge on it. And that's what you need. I'll make darn sure I don't have any mistakes that way, because there's nothing better than a razor sharp head. That is razor sharp. Doesn't take much touch up, just a little bit. This thing just folds up, goes in your pack, you're all ready to go.
A very desirable older buck has emerged into view, and that has Judd's attention. This cautious animal is always alert and very curious by nature. Despite their strong desire for water, these pronghorn are true to their nature. It's a waiting game fraught with danger.
He's good enough if he comes and gives me a good shot.
One of the country's most experienced bow hunters, Judd has been on scores of antelope hunts, and he knows that patience is essential.
He doesn't have real good prongs, but he's got an impressive height. Great ending to a great day. Beautiful animal. This is the one I saw yesterday with his hooks coming right in together. Real unusual. You don't see that much. All the other bucks had real wide horns. I always try to go for the unusual ones. He doesn't have big cutters like most of them, but he's a great antelope. We sat here all day. Had lots of horses come in, lots of grouse, few antelope. For some reason today I thought it'd be a good day, but they just hang out. We saw a few more antelope yesterday, and saw a couple of real nice bucks, but this one's as good as they get, and I'm satisfied with him. Great buck.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did bringing it to you. Next week, we're going to show you one of the biggest cabins that we build called the Lodge, and we're going to take you somewhere around the world on a flashback, some hunting and fishing. Remember, take a kid to the woods, it'll keep him off the streets, and may God bless you as He's blessed me. All you got to do is ask Him.